Oh, what's going on, GameLeapers? This is Coach Eeks, and in today's upload, we're going to be talking about the 10 best top laners you guys have to pick for 12.4, because these are going to give you the best chance of winning your games and climbing elo. And in this video, you will get the best runes, the best items, the best summoner spells, the best skill order to run on these champions so you can pick them in 12.4 with the foundation you need. So if you do appreciate all of the extra info we give you, make sure to leave a like on the video, and also make sure if you want to master any of the picks here to sign up to the GameLeap website linked in the description and comment section, because our challenger players and coaches from around the world upload up to 20 vids a week, and these are courses, guys, these are high elo VOD analyses breaking down what the best players do that everyone else does not. So make sure you check out those links to get that exclusive access, and without further ado, let's get into the countdown. So coming in at number 10, we have one of the most consistent top laners in the game at the moment, because in pretty much every game you're in, you're going to be useful, and this is Shen. So for Shen, ever since 12.1 hit the rift and teleport got changed, so before 14 minutes you can only teleport to towers, well, Shen's value on the rift increased massively, because your ultimate Stand United is a point and click ultimate. You don't have to ult to towers, you can ult to any allied champion, and therefore you can be in that fight before anyone else on the map. This is a huge advantage for Shen, and that's why we're running Shield Bash, which is going to increase our ultimate shield, and also Ultimate Hunter in our runes, because that's going to decrease the cooldown so we can influence the map even more. But do not underestimate Shen during the laning phase as well. He's a great champion against heavy auto attackers like Tryndamere and Jax, and even if he is in a bad lane, he has amazing gank setup because of his taunt from his Shadow Dash, and that's also why we're running Flash and Ignite, so we also have a lot of kill pressure during the laning phase, and this is why Shen comes in at number 10. But beating Shen to number 9 on this countdown, to be honest, is probably the best counter-picking top laner on the entire game, and this is Quinn. And ever since Riot gave you more attack speed in your W again after nerfing it, and also gave your ultimates more damage, Quinn's win rate across the board is one of the highest in the top lane, and one of the big reasons for this is because of how your kit works. So most champions you go against in the top lane are going to be melee bruisers and fighters, and it's pretty much impossible for them to actually ever jump onto you because your vault exists. So as soon as they jump onto you, you just press your E, you recreate that distance, and because you're a ranged champion, it can be extremely oppressive because of all the poke you can deal. But we shouldn't underestimate Quinn in terms of her roaming as well. She's one of the best champions at taking a lead from her lane and impressing it on the rest of the map. This is why she has insane carry potential from the top lane, and this is also why we want to be running Ignite, because we want to dumpster our opponent in the top lane and away we go around the map. So by doing this with this mindset, you can end games very quickly, and it's also very potent at the moment to pair your shield bow with Stormrazor. The slow from Stormrazor is extremely problematic for these melee fighter champions because they need stickiness to be able to kill you. This gives them none of it, so make sure you try this item with Quinn in 12.4, and she fills the number 9 position. But ahead of Quinn, coming in at number 8 on this countdown, is a champion who's probably going to be here until Riot nerf the heck out of lethal tempo for melee champions, and this is Tryndamere. And this should really be no surprise, because let's be real, Tryndamere at the moment is a very popular champion, both in terms of pick rate and in terms of ban rate, because he's so good. By going for the ultimate sustain build, so we're maxing our Q first, taking second wind, it is actually extremely hard to force Tryndamere out of lane, and because of the lethal tempo buff, so not only are you getting extra attack speed for each stack, but also extra range and max stacks, this can be very, very deadly on a champion like Tryndamere, because just one sniff of a kill and he is going to take it. His ultimate as well, there's really not that much counterplay to it, but just make sure if you do play Tryndamere to leave 1 point in your ultimate until level 17. So do not put an extra point in this at level 11, wait until the late game and you'll be sweet. Now, filling the number 7 position on this countdown, to be honest, is one of the best AP top laners in the entire game, and just like Tryndamere and probably all of these picks, there should be no real surprise here, because this is Gwen, and Gwen does pretty much everything. She has a very strong level 1, because with her ease attack speed and the dash it gives you, you can deal serious damage to your opponents before a minion even gets to lane, and when we pair this with Ignite and TP, it's a very scary combination. Now, as far as our runes go, taking Conqueror is better than Lethal Tempo, because to be honest, you have enough attack speed from your E to get the Conqueror stacking, so Lethal Tempo is a little bit overkill. And as far as your items go, going Riftmaker with Lucidity Boots and then Nash's 2, the damage output you have is kinda nuts. Also, the sustain from Riftmaker, it comes in really handy, and with Nash's Tooth, it gives you so much offensive power that you're very hard to beat in those duels. So Gwen comes in at number 7, but probably think about banning some sort of ranged attack damage champion like Jace or Graves, and you should be all good. Now, we've got a bit of a surprise pick coming in at number 6, because lots of people probably think this champion is bad ever since Riot changed Skarl's HP to count as base HP, not bonus HP, because to be honest, this is why the interaction between Kled and Titanic Hydra was kind of broken. But when Riot did that, they gave you a bit more bonus AD scaling in your E, so this means that all the bonus AD you're now getting from Gore Drinker, which is up 10, from Black Cleaver, which is giving you more of Malmortius, which is giving you more. You get it? And then you've got the new Death Stance passive on top of this, which is scaling off your bonus attack damage. This is all great news for Kled, and he's a super underrated pick, but to be honest, if you just look at the stats and the data, he actually looks super strong, and you can see these stats on your screen. In high elo at the moment with this rune page, he has a 62.5% win rate with Ignite and Teleport because you don't really need Flash. Like once you commit to that fight, there's no getting out, and you also have gap closing with your ultimate and of course your jousting, so this gives you more kill pressure during the laning phase, and we still have Teleport for the mid to late game to make those plays around the map. So Kled comes in at number 6, and if there are any Kled mains watching, I'd love to know your opinion on Kled's current position as well. But beating Kled to number 5 is another champion who people probably aren't thinking is OP, because with the new Divine Sunder Trinity Force, it doesn't sound too red hot for Trundle, but I'm telling you, it is. So lots of people, what they might be doing on Trundle in the top lane at the moment is building Blade of the Rune King, which is fine, don't get me wrong, especially if you're against tankier champions, but I'm telling you guys, if you start by building a Hull Breaker, I know it's not mentioned here on this page, followed by Trinity Force and then Titanic Hydra, the game is all but over. Like, I'm being legit. The extra HP you get from Trinity Force, couple this with the HP you get from Hull Breaker and then Titanic Hydra. Why is this good for Trundle? Well, because all of that bonus HP is getting pumped into Titanic's passive, so that converts to bonus AD. In the mid to late game, you will be shredding champions and one-shotting anyone on the map, and it is just super busted. That's the only way to describe it, and we still have to remind ourselves that Trundle with Lethal Tempo is the best level 1 top laner in the entire game. You will lose every single trade against this champion in the first 5 minutes, especially when you take Ignite, so Trundle starts off the top 5. But there is one champion who's getting buffed for 12.4 who might have something to say about Trundle being a very good early game champion, and this is Set. So what Riot are doing for Set is they're increasing your HP per level, and this means in the late game you'll have now 100 more HP, which is quite significant. This is no joke. This is a very nice buff, and this just makes you tankier, harder to kill, more durable, so you're not going to die as much. Also think about this, the Gore Drinker healing, so when you do get this is actually more effective the more HP you have, so this is a serious buff for Set, and let's be honest, in lower elos for the most part, this champion is one of the most complained about top laners for how good he is, so after this buff, it was pretty much impossible for me not to put him on this countdown, and if you guys agree or disagree, let me know in the comment section. But starting off the top 3 ahead of Set, filling the number 3 position, this is a champion a bit like Trundle, who might like to go Trinity Force or Divine Sunderer, and this is Camille, who is the best Sheen abuser in the top lane, and I can't remember the last patch where Camille wasn't mentioned. She's been so broken for so long, and because Divine Sunderer is giving you more attack damage now, you deal even more damage. It's not like you really needed it, but still you may get more kills because of this, so it's definitely a welcome change. And you can also notice here that when people build the new Ravenous Hydra with Camille, which is giving you 70 attack damage instead of 65 now thanks to the buff in 12.3, well, just like the Sunderer change, this means your wave clear, your damage output is just higher, so you're going to get more kills. And it's also nice to think about the new Death Stance as well, which is healing you off of all this extra attack damage and even blocking magic damage as well, so when you do get into those mid to late game team fights, you're going to be even harder to take down. So Camille comes in at number 3, but ahead of her, filling the top 2 positions, well, these champions are actually the same as last patch, and there's good reason for this, because none of their items nor the champions themselves are getting nerfed, and the first one, the runner-up for 12.4's best top laners, this is Fiora. And if we just think about some of those items I just mentioned, so we have Gore Drinker, Ravenous Hydra, a bit of Death Stance, we have more Malmortius as well, and we also have Black Cleaver you could use, especially against tankier foes. Like, are you kidding me? All of these items getting changed the way they've been, it is just nuts for Fiora. This champion as well, because Conqueror is back to 5 seconds, the stacking, she was already in a good position. Now this just pushes her over the top, and look at these stats in high reload. When Fiora's, just like Kled's, run Ignite and Teleport, a 66% win rate in 33 games, it might look like a small sample size, but trust me, this is not. This is real. And we also have a 55% win rate with this rune page, which is actually very standard, but I'm telling you guys, if you can master this champion, if you can learn your matchups, time your W to perfection, you are going to dumpster everyone and take over a game, maybe better than any other top laner, but not really, because the number 1 champion actually has the best chance of doing this, and this is Riven for another patch, and to be honest, I cannot believe she is not getting nerfed. I don't know what you guys think, so let me know in the comments. Are you sick of seeing Riven at the moment? But that's just how it is. That's what the balanced team want, obviously. They want Riven to be picked, and she is incredibly broken. There's no getting around this fact, and it's really because all of the changes to those bruiser items, attack damage, more ability haste, equals Riven. That's what she thrives off. These 2 stats, they're her most important, so whenever these get buffed in items that she builds, she benefits more than any other champion. That's why you can see at the bottom with your items, Gore Drinker, Black Cleaver, Death Stance, even more of Malmortius as a 5th item. All of these got changed for the better for Riven, and this is why her win rate in higher reloads as well is around 54%, which is a little bit ridiculous because this has been going on for a few patches now, and even in lower elos, this champion who's meant to be about skill expression, you can really just jump on her on first timer and win games as much as anyone else. So we'll have to keep a close eye on next patch in 12.5 to see what Riot do to Riven, if they do nerf her that is, because let's be real, she has a lot of skins, which is probably the most important detail to look at when we're balancing the game. But those were the top 10 top laners, guys, for 12.4. Let me know again your thoughts, your comments in the comment section, and remember to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our future Season 12 daily uploads. And until tomorrow's daily upload, this has been Coach Peace.